Hey guys, HaxorTech here for another video tutorial. In this video, I'm actually going to be talking about how you can fix the issue that was recently introduced in Android Nougat, the update for your Nexus 6P. Essentially, if you haven't seen it yet, you may or may not be affected, but for me, when I updated from Marshmallow to Android Nougat, I had an issue where anytime I made a call to any contact, the proximity sensor was having a problem where it would not turn the screen back on. So essentially, if I went in and made a call, the screen would go black when I put it next to my head, and then when I took the phone away, the screen would remain black. And the only solution, the only way to get the screen to come back on is to completely end the call. And so what I would have to do is make sure that my settings were set up so that I could press my power button to end the call, which is obviously pretty inconvenient. Signed up for a forum online, and I was trying to figure out a solution, and it turns out the only thing that has been able to fix the problem for me was updating to Android Nougat 7.1. And so you can see here, I'm actually, I'll show you my about the phone here. I'm running Android 7.1.1, so I've got the developer preview on here, and basically I'll show you what the issue is again, just like I described. So here, if I was to go and make a call, if I just tap on dial here, you can see this is the new dialer. And so actually, you're not going to be able to see it through the video here, but if I cover my proximity sensor here, the screen goes black, and if I remove my hand from the proximity sensor, the screen comes right back on. So I was researching some of the forums, and it seems like the issue was that when Google released the update, there was some kind of an issue with the configuration of the proximity sensor settings, and so for on Nexus 6P devices, the proximity sensor was not properly detecting distance. So another thing that I did was I downloaded an app called AndroSensor, and you'll be able to see the readings here. So if I put my hand in front of the proximity sensor here, you can see it goes to 0, and then if I remove it, it goes back to 2. Well, on Android 7.0, if I put my hand like this, it goes to 0. If I remove my hand, it would stay at 0, just like this. And the only fix was if I shut down the app and I opened it back up, it would redetect it. But this is what was causing the phone, anytime you make a call, to essentially keep the screen off because it wasn't properly detecting the distance. So in the 7.1 Nougat preview that I have installed right now, that issue has been completely resolved. A few other things that I did want to mention in this video, some things that I've noticed as far as mostly just fixes. In one of my previous videos, I showed you guys the yellow tint on my phone. Now, I'm currently not running any kind of a background app or anything to change the color of my device, like I showed before. I actually had to send my device in because the headphone jack started having some problems, and they sent me a new device, but when I did get it and it was still using Marshmallow, I still noticed a slightly yellowish tint for whatever reason, and I wasn't 100% sure if it was a hardware or software issue, but I actually updated to 7.0, and in 7.0 there was no yellow tint. I updated to 7.1 and there's still no yellow tint, so there's a good possibility that that yellow tint was at least partially software related. Okay, so if you guys aren't familiar with getting the preview of Android 7.1 on here, I think it's going to be coming out in January or February officially, but to get the over-the-air update on your device right now, all you have to do is go into your web browser, do a search for Android Developer Preview, and if you click on that first link, you should be able to register with your Google email address or whatever email that you used to associate with your phone, and you can basically just register for this preview. Now, I did it before the actual preview was released, but I'm pretty sure you should be able to go on there, register for the preview, and you should be able to get that as an over-the-air update. You'll see in your notifications, if you just pull the drop down, that you'll be able to select the over-the-air update and install it just as if it was normally being pushed to your device. And if you're especially experiencing this issue with the proximity sensor having problems in 7.0, it's definitely worth installing. So far, bug-wise, I haven't had any issues. If anything, I will say that the battery life has maybe slightly been impacted, but I wouldn't say that it's very noticeable, if at all. And I did also want to mention a few things that I do like with the 7.0 or 7.1 upgrade, if any of you are still running Marshmallow on your device. A few things that I kind of had problems with or wasn't really too happy about with the Nexus 6P on Marshmallow were a few features that it was lacking. So when I sent this device into Huawei to have the headphone jack repaired, I actually used an LG V10 for a while. And I actually really liked that phone. I ended up having to send that one in because the GPS sensor was not working properly. And also it was not reading micro SD cards, so they had to fix that. But in the meantime, when I was using that device, I liked the multitasking abilities that it had and some other features. So one of the things that was really bothering me with the Nexus 6P is it's a very minor thing, but it was kind of frustrating to me that I had to manually go through here and close out all of my tabs because I do tend to have a lot of apps open at once, and so I like that in 7.0 or 7.1 you can now clear all those tabs. And then another thing that I also liked is the fact that you can have multiple windows open, just like on a Samsung or LG device. So if I open up two apps here, I can go ahead and open up my web browser, and then maybe open up YouTube. And if we go back into my screen here, so you can see here if you just tap and hold on one of your open tabs and you drag it up, it's going to go ahead and split the screen. So then I can just go ahead and select the other app that I want to use here. So just like on a Samsung or LG device here, I've got multitasking, which is something that has not been possible before without rooting a Nexus device. So I really like that. I think it's super handy. You can also control the screen here, which one has more space. So you can move that slider around there. Not something that I honestly really use that frequently, but it was kind of nice to see. Otherwise, if we pull down into settings here, there's also a little sort of Easter egg here, this empty dish thing. I don't think it really does anything, but you can choose between these different options. Go here, it shows fish, I can tap on it, empty dish. It's an Easter egg, it doesn't really do anything, but that's something that I just kind of caught my eye. But other than that, they've changed the design a little bit here in the settings menu for all of your different tasks that you can do. One of the things I noticed when I updated to 7.1 is if we go into support here, I don't know if they're changing it or not, but earlier on in the day I was looking and I saw that there was a chat option. So I think you can actually chat with a Google rep from here. You can also request a callback. So if you just go into one of these different menus here, they've got all kinds of different really useful articles and whatnot. But again, I'm not sure if they're going to continue that feature or not, but I saw that there was both the option to chat with a Google rep, or you can have them call you back. Might be something they were just kind of experimenting with, but I thought that was kind of neat, especially for someone who's not as tech savvy and might need more assistance. Another thing that I thought was kind of cool that they updated here in 7.1 is with the Google feature here, where you can actually just tell Google that you want to take a picture in X amount of seconds, and it'll take that picture. So for instance, I can say, "Okay, Google, take a picture in 5 seconds." So some cool little things that they did here with the 7.1 preview. I'm mostly just honestly happy that they fixed a lot of the bugs that were definitely present in Marshmallow and a few of the bugs that were present in 7.0. So overall, very happy with the update, and for any of you guys that have been having that issue with the proximity sensor on Android 7.0, leave a comment in the comments section. I would like to see how many of you guys are actually affected by that, because I know that many people were reporting it online, and there didn't seem to be any kind of a solution from Google. I was on the phone for a long time with them, as well as even getting transferred to Huawei, which ended up being unnecessary, but now that it's finally fixed in the 7.1 preview, I'm happy. I'm definitely happy with this device. And let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.